together here. Okay, hold on a minute. Just making sure I don't have to. No, I do not. Okay, let's call this meeting to order. It's 6:30 on Wednesday, January 19th. Welcome, everyone. Let's see here. If we can get a roll call.
John Marshall.
Who else we got here? That's just
Come on,
Joan.
Gary.
No, Bill?
No, he's coming in right now. He just
Okay.
got out of finance, so
I
he
thought I
probably took a
saw,
minute.
oh, okay. I thought I saw him. That's why.
Yeah, he's joining now, so he's here.
All right, so Bill's here. Okay,
Yeah, Gary, Bill, John, Counselor McGrattan, Counselor Rodriguez,
Rodriguez, yep.
and Ann Holland, resident.
Okay.
And
Citizen, yep.
I saw Jay Hartling from the Board of Ed as well.
Oh, yeah, yep, I see. Okay. I'm still getting familiar with Zoom. Okay, do we have any comments from the citizen? Yes, go right ahead.
My name is Ann Holland. I live at 824 Colonel Ledyard Highway in Ledyard. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. So just to confirm that the three counselors for the Community Relations Committee, the board members are Gary Paul, Bill Soms, and John Marshall now?
Correct.
That is correct.
Okay. Okay. And so your like mission statement, like what you guys are supposed to do is just help people that are being discriminated in these 4 branches of the services you provide, including fire, correct? That wouldn't show up. So I just have to confirm that it's the police department, youth and social services. There's 2 other ones besides the fire department. And that was at the food pantry and something else, I don't remember. So if there is a person that is a committee member, which was placed there by the mayor, and I go to the mayor for discrimination and he dismisses it, and then I go to the Youth and Social Services Board for discrimination and they dismiss it, and now I come to Community Relations Committee meeting to discuss discrimination. Am I in the right place or is there somewhere else I have to be? That's
So
my
yeah,
question.
I would say this is the place to come.
So this is the service you offer if there is a discrimination within the Youth and Social Services Board?
Townwide, yeah, I wouldn't limit this to just those 4 areas you're talking about. This is it's a townwide issue.
Okay, so well, my concern is in the Youth and Social Services Board that I've been trying to address, and I don't know if I'm going to the right place.
I would say so.
Okay,
This is why the committee was formed, to address issues such as this.
okay.
And I would
So-
agree with that.
You know, to bring things out to the open, into the broad daylight.
Correct.
Okay. I just want to confirm that. So now, if I bring, how do I properly bring a concern to you guys? Because I know there was other ones that were addressed. It had to do with the food pantry and the speeding on Shoebill or something. So however those come to fruition, if I just speak them here, I can get resolution, or is it email, or how is that?
Well, you can contact any one of us directly or bring it to Roxanne and get on the agenda.
Okay, because there is a sitting committee member that has now 2 times done things in a discriminatory way. And it's just may not be coincidental, but I see even more discrimination in this town. And I don't know who I'm supposed to address it with, because I thought that was you guys, even other things too.
Yes, this is the place.
Okay, Great. So then,
Uh,
I guess,
Gary,
What is
how
the
you want to handle this? You
protocol
want
for
to get this
that?
on you?
because I know there's like 3-minute increments. I just want to have a discussion about it, I guess.
Yeah, Gary, how do you want to handle this? You want to talk about it now? You want to put it on the agenda for?
We can't, I mean, the idea is to get it out in the light, right? We need to
Right.
talk about it and we need
Right.
to, hear what's going on. So, I would leave that to, I would defer that to you, ma'am. I mean, and how you want to do that.
Okay, well, I guess my first thing is, there's a member of the Youth and Social Services Board that has targeted 2 Black members of our community, and we know that Ledyard doesn't really have a substantial amount of Black people that live in our community. There's like it's mostly 88% white people. So I just think, what are the chances of that happening to 2 Black people in our community? And then seeing the counter to social justice be offered or suggested, and then now this Muslim skull crusher that wants to sit on the board. Like, what is the protocol for sitting people in this town that I live in and my kids go to this schools? And it's so scary to think that my children will hear these things. Like, I hear Black people are stupid. A child is repeating that on the bus or saying that on the bus, and how these things are addressed in our community of just people ignoring them. Because I've reached out, I've emailed, I've talked to people, and nobody's really saying anything and just kind of dismissing it like it's nothing, but it's something. And it's a lot of somethings. And I just don't know who to go to help address these things that people are seemingly ignoring in this town.
Well, and if I could just step in real quick here. A lot of times, I think people dismiss it or don't want to discuss because it's uncomfortable for them to talk about. I've been in construction almost 30 years, and there's nothing that I'm uncomfortable talking about. So you've come to the right place. We do need to know a little more detail about the discrimination you're talking about to come up with a solution for this.
I know. And I figured, where else am I supposed to go? Where else is anybody supposed to go? Where is there a safe place for people to talk about it? I mean, our community has signs and flags, not just saying Black Lives Matter to them. They're saying F Biden or 2024 Trump, take back America, scary things. And then I know of all these things that are just happening. Like, I don't know if everybody's paying attention, but in this town, I've been called N lover. In this town, I see who drives by and does honks or flips me the bird or whatever. And it's like this aggression and this anger and this hostility. Like, at a Youth and Social Services Board, I asked for the resignation of a Youth and Social Services Board member because she has displayed bullying and hateful behavior. And all of a sudden, the door flings open and a woman comes in and snatches a chair next to me, drags it away and says she's not sitting next to me. And I'm like trying to make light of it, like, well, you smell anyways, like just joking. And she's dead serious. She's yelling at me, calling me a bully and calling me racist, when I did, the only sentence I said was, I asked for the resignation of Maria Knott, because she is sitting on the board and she has attacked and lied blatantly about 2 Black members of our community, not caring about any repercussions for their families, the children they have, in the school systems, whatever the fear is. But anyone, there has to be a level of professionality or professionalism that you're going to be held to as a committee member and not just as an employee. And I think it's crazy because this isn't cancel culture. This is just literally accountability. And I know people don't like that word, but it's true. I accept accountability for myself and my behavior, no matter what it is. And I think we all should do that as human beings, right? No matter your profession. But I'm saying, if she is sitting on the Youth and Social Services Board, how is anyone, or even those 2, supposed to go to them and feel safe when that there's a cause on there that's not being addressed? And I have letters written from the mayor. I mean, he didn't show up to the meeting last night, but again, I spoke asking for somebody to do something as a person, as a community member. And this, I just don't know what to do with where I'm supposed to reach out to, like when there's lies, when there's hate, and it seems to be directed towards particular people. And I can't say it's not discriminatory when it's not. I'm doing the same thing and it's not happening to me. Hillary's doing the same thing and it didn't happen to her. Like, what is going on? Explain that to me.
But Ann, can you give us a little more detail on what happened with Maria Knott?
Okay, well, she posted, the mayor has confirmed with me that it's nothing illegal, but that I don't think is a fine line between illegal and being moral or ethical, right? So she posted a picture of a town council member, Nicole Cruz Glacken, not member, sorry, she was running for town council. Just like the F Biden signs, it's similar to that type of aggression. It's cringy, but it goes beyond that because she posts a picture of her son. I was in that picture with my daughter. Nobody said anything to us about hate in the cops. You know, this thing, and my daughter has a picture that says blue lives do not exist. I've held that sign multiple times because not that I say cops are not alive, but it's not a blue life like it is a black life. It's an occupation choice. I don't want to eradicate the police. That's not what this is. And they're making that to defund the police in Ledger as well. It's using these scare tactics and it's bonkers, but I don't even care about that. The whole thing is a person that sits on the Youth and Social Services Board posted a picture of somebody that was running for town council saying that she was a cop hater, where there's 5,000 members of these elite group of men and women that fully support the police 150%. So maybe I would think that there would be some type of extremist hiding in there, if anything. And it's scary to think that she is being put out there with a picture of her saying she's a cop hater and her son, and not thinking that it's so easy to say, oh, I wonder who it is. Look in Maria Knott's town, look up the council members, see what they are representing and how they look, because that's what you're going to see. You're not going to assume that, you know, the other people are not trying to be standing in front of the pillar with Nicole and her son and myself and my daughter. They're not in that picture. You know, it's just weird. And then she also did that to the first Black lieutenant for New London. She went on this right-winged interview site and blatantly lied, because I was there again. Nobody attacks me. You know, is it happen to be because the way I look? Because that seems to be the difference. Same thing with Hillary running for town council. They grilled Nicole. Oh, you didn't stand for this, you know, the pledge, like exercising her Second Amendment right, her First Amendment rights, right? But then for someone who loves the Constitution so much, she was berated for it. How was America even created in the first place? You know, we have to go back. We have to look at the history. Nobody wants to feel bad. Nobody wants to feel sad. But the only way we're ever going to move forward and bridge these gaps is by talking about it. And if I see it, I'm told I say something. That's what I'm told. My kids, we teach our kids zero tolerance, no bullying. We teach them that. My community is not doing that. And whether I'm whatever people stand for, that's fine. But if you're on a committee too, I mean, there's a certain responsibility that comes with that behavior. I would never want to be around somebody that is a Muslim skull crusher. That's terrifying. Terry All, now he deleted his Facebook. We all have the screenshots. He's coming into our community. This is what people see, our representatives. Is that ledgered? That's terrifying. Please, you guys, what is a solution?
Yeah, no, Terry's that's not later, and Terry Alt is being revetted by the RTC. We weren't aware of that Facebook post when they put him forward.
Maybe they should get a crew, because it's so easy just to go look at somebody's name and find out what they are about.
Yeah, I think going forward that's what they're gonna do, is gonna check a little bit.
But isn't it
deeper
even
into something's background.
scarier? Isn't it even scarier to not know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, so probably going forward, we're gonna look deeper into someone that comes forward to be a member of the commission or committee.
Right. I also, Ms. Holland, I also believe that just, the fact, obviously this isn't, something that we're going to tackle and tonight, but I think
know.
putting it on the record and being heard is the start. And it really is. And like John said, I think that we can, this is something that we can continue to talk about.
So how do I pursue a revet of someone like Maria Knott then?
I would say through
What is
admin.
the policy? Am I only the mayor is the only one and never, nothing, no committee members, no chairs, no boards, no secretaries? No letters, no emails to anyone?
No, the vetting process is usually done at the admin committee. So you can contact Andrea Engels. She's chair of
That-
admin.
That should be, that's always, that's a brick wall. That's a brick wall. You
So John,
understand
the
that?
mayor appoints social services.
Yes, he does. He's the executive branch.
Yeah, so I'm not sure that goes through admin.
Okay, I'm sorry, Garth. I
Yeah.
wasn't aware
He's
of
the
that.
only one.
Yeah, either the council appoints or the mayor appoints. And in the case of social services, the mayor appoints.
I just want to figure that out. That's the only thing I'm focused on right now is because she's in a position. My daughter and I receive services as well. And to know certain things, I don't dox her. I don't go to her. I don't stalk her. I don't do nothing crazy. I blocked her a long time ago on Facebook. And it just seems to keep coming up, the same kind of things I'm seeing. And I'm like, how is that even possible when you cut somebody completely out of your life and it still keeps coming to fruition? I don't know. So, I don't know. Am I supposed to take my daughter out of therapy?
So let's see if we could, let's see if we could clarify the issue. It sounds like there are two, and I'm going to paraphrase and you tell me if I'm wrong. The first issue is that the mayor has appointed a person to social services
Mm-hmm.
that you believe is a racist, and you believe that because she,
No,
no?
I said I didn't say she was a racist.
Well, I've read a lot of letters, people saying she's a racist, so forgive
No,
me.
she has racist behaviors that she's not afraid to hide. And that's
Okay,
discrimination, right?
Okay.
Racism is a form of discrimination. So I
okay,
didn't say she was a racist because I think anybody can really do something silly and not know, or stupid or ignorant, I guess you'd say, and just not know, because people don't know what they don't know.
yeah, okay, I agree with that.
She's not screaming out the N-word, but she does
Yeah.
stuff that might be a microaggression.
But specifically what she did was post a picture of Nicole Cruz Glacken and
Mm.
say she's a cop hater. And she
Mhm.
posted that on her social media group with 5,000 members.
Yes.
That's
So
the first-
let's not just say that, because it has to be descriptive on why she started the group is in direct response to Black Lives Matter. And she said that in this right-wing website, this right-wing interview of why
Okay.
she started the group.
Okay.
So-
And the second issue, and this is where I get a
That she-
little unclear, is with the lieutenant in the New London Fire Department. What did she do there?
She said that it was a 9/11 event, and it wasn't a 9/11 event, because she's saying that because he's a firefighter and she knew that would get the biggest backlash. It was actually a Back the Blue event. And the reason I know that is because I was there. I have all the screenshots of the entire, all the advertisements for it, everything for it. It's not one thing of 9/11 the Back the Blue was 9/11 in 2020. But in 2021, everybody's sharing a post that's now allowed to be on a non-political site that it's a 9/11 event, but in reality, it's a Back the Blue event. And that's a political identity. And it was
Okay.
unfair, I felt, and also a lie, because he would never do that. I know him. He's my friend, and he's the first Black firefighter lieutenant. He did it with me in protest to Blue Lives Matter, because Blue lives do not exist.
And do you have screenshots of her two posts?
I have screenshots of everything, and I sent them to everyone that's on the Youth and Social Services Board and the mayor and his secretary or assistant, Kristen Chapman, I believe her name
Yeah,
is.
right, right. Okay,
But I'm just concerned because it's now two people that I know she's done this to, and they just so happen to be Black. Because I was at both things, Hillary was at protesting, doing similar things, and she wasn't judged in the same manner. So that also comes to town council, I guess, right? That's
Mhm.
it's-
okay. If you could provide those screenshots to the committee, that would be a helpful start.
I will email everyone, mass email everyone here what
Okay,
I have.
All right.
Okay,
thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I feel heard. Thank you.
Right, we're gonna move on. I don't have any informational items. So at this point, I'd like to go over our approval of our prior minutes. I have a motion to approve the following special meeting minutes of November 3rd, 2021, and the organizational minutes of December 6th, 2021. Roxanne, can I do that in one motion, both?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
A quick question though, Gary.
yes.
How come land use is on our agenda?
It's probably a mistake. It's
Oh,
probably
yeah,
just
you're
not-
right.
Sorry.
So
That's
Counselor Solms will second the motion to approve the minutes, both minutes.
You're not approving land use minutes.
No, the
Done.
Committee of Relationships, Relations Committee, special meeting, November 3rd. All right, and Counselor Psalms seconded that?
Yep.
Okay, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Counselor Solms, aye.
Any opposed? None? Don't have,
Naomi's muted. I don't know if she voted or not.
I'm not on this committee.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I don't have any old business, except for, how many of us, no, none. New business. We're general discussion and brainstorming regarding the role of the Community Relations Committee. So I guess the idea behind this, and it was, you know, and I'm thankful for Suzanne Holland for speaking tonight. I wanted to get some perspective and how this, you know, and some ideas of how this Community Relations Committee is going to move forward. I did familiarize myself with the last time that they met back in November. You know, they had recommended that it be dissolved. However, that did not go through. And I know that I heard some of the public's comments about that and their concerns. So I guess to kind of move forward is I'd like to discuss what our role is going to be moving forward and what we see moving forward with this committee. So I'm going to open that up for discussion.
So if I could, Mr. Chair, this is Counselor Solms. Some of the history of the former Community Relations Committee is that, as you said, there was a motion to dissolve the committee because some work was done. We had a number of informational sessions which were well attended. And towards the end of 2021, attendance dropped off. We had done our informational sessions. We did have others that we were trying to schedule. And one option we have is to continue to schedule the rest of those sessions. So we did one with the police department. We also, well, you saw the minutes. So we spoke with several departments. They shared the services they offer, what they do, et cetera. Ones that we considered doing were the fire departments and also public works. So I would add those to the list of 4 that were discussed previously during Ms. Holland's comments. People get services from public works. We all know what they do. They pave the roads, they plow the roads, yada, yada. I think it would be very helpful if we were to schedule an informational session for public works. I don't sense that there's any discrimination going on there just by the nature of the work. I'm not saying it doesn't happen because they haven't heard. I'm just saying it's the nature of the work. You get out and you run your plow route and you plow all the roads. You mow all the roads, you collect the trash. I'm not aware of any discrimination, but I do think it would be really helpful for people to know everything the Public Works does. We also considered having a session with the two fire companies, but at the time, they held 2 open houses in October, and we thought, okay, well, so we're coming right on top of that. I think it would be a good idea to have an informational session with the 2 fire companies. The work that they do is amazing. The equipment that they have to manage, the equipment that they operate and that the town pays for, and the services that people get. Most people experience the fire departments through motor vehicle accidents and health incidents because they go to all the emergencies. So those are 2 things we could do. Shifting gear a little bit, we also talked about when we first proposed that the committee dissolve, and then we got a lot of pushback on that. Some of the conversations were, well, what's the right vehicle and how could we make this work better? Because one of the things that happens with a council is that some people who experience discrimination may not be so willing to come forward and discuss their experience in front of a group like that. So maybe we change the committee or the venue, if you will, to something that's a little more friendly, a little more open and less formal. And I don't have any particular proposals, but there are lots of opportunities out there to involve the public, to let the public participate in this as members of a committee or a commission, separate from a town council committee. So those are some of the ideas we talked about. Another thing that came up quite frequently is the division between the Board of Ed and the general government. And several times the committee made it very clear that by state statute, the town council has no authority over the Board of Education with the exception of approving their budget. Even there are significant restrictions. That said, we did recommend that the town council write a letter of support affirming the policies and the goals of the Board of Ed in combating discrimination, which we did. We wrote that and we basically supported the things that they're doing, such as looking to hire teachers of color, opening up to the community. And they have their whole own community, committee, which I haven't been going to their meetings, but they're doing a lot of work on their side. So that's another part of it. But again, I think this committee should be focusing on the services that the town offers. And then maybe we should be having a discussion about what should that committee look like. And we never did finish our discussion about our mission. We put a mission statement together, but we never really finished that. And I never felt comfortable that it was a mission statement should be something that you can repeat. And I can't repeat it. I can't pull it out of my head and say, this is what we were supposed to be doing. So that's something else we could be working on. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Sons. I guess, I'd like to, I agree. I think that is a vital part of this. I would agree that I think we need to discuss the right venue, and my concern on that, or my reasoning for that, is again, how can we best be an advocate? How can we best be used by, to listen and to direct people in the right, the right places, and people want to be heard. And I think you're right. I think a mission statement is something that I would like to move forward working on in doing. Any other comments or suggestions?
I would like to just add one success. I think it's a continuing success. One of the complaints that we did address was a complaint by the tribe that Ledyard Police Department was using the spiritual center on
That's right.
Sugarloaf Road as a place to park to run radar. And we did have the chief on with us, and we talked about that. He talked about what he was doing to find another place to run radar. And I believe that has been put behind us, and that practice has stopped. But the committee did work well, and with the cooperation of the chief and the department, that was a success, I think.
I guess my questions are, and what I'd like to discuss again is just how can we be, not just, like getting with the public works, the fire departments, and again, just being the advocate and finding the right venue for that. And I think I would like to work on that. I would like to work on creating a more, how can we do that in the right setting and in the right way for people? Because, again, I truly feel that people need to be heard. And sometimes that matters a lot. And I do agree with that. So I would really like to work on that myself, on how we can direct that and be an advocate and create that kind of an atmosphere, along with informing, the different services. And I think that should be an ongoing thing. Did you guys only do that once, like with the police and everything else, the informational sessions?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember, Gary. We might have had two sessions with the chief. There was definitely one. There may have been two.
Would that be something that we'd want to do, like maybe, like every 6 months, or, to.
Yep. We talked about that too, whether we should have, once a year or twice a year, just have the chief come and talk with us. Another facet, another success, actually, in some ways. Let me say this differently. I'd like to see us be more involved with the tribe.
Yeah.
And we did have a meeting with the tribe. It was on Zoom. But we had Chairman Butler, we had Crystal Whipple, Danny Menahan. We had a lot of people. I'm trying to remember everybody who came. But we were talking about the food pantry and whether services should be provided, and more importantly, to whom. Should they be provided by social services to members of the tribe who live on the reservation? The answer was no. Should they be provided to members of the tribe who live in Ledyard? The answer was, you shouldn't designate the tribe. The answer is, if you live in Ledyard, you get services.
Right.
And we wrote a memorandum with the tribe on that. And we put it in our policy and procedure for social services. But the point was, we had a number of people from the tribe participating in the discussion, and I'd like to see us do that again. It's very hard to organize. Getting on tribal counselors' agenda, or calendar, I should say, is not easy to do. But I'd like to see us do something maybe more informal. From the very beginning, and I'm shifting gears a little bit, I wanted to organize something with the 3 young people who spoke at the first Black Lives Matter protest. There was one guy and 2 women. And I thought that if we had to sit down with them informally over a meal, that's a very effective way to talk out what's on your mind and where your differences are. Unfortunately, between COVID and school, some of the kids are in school. We never managed to make that happen, but I don't want to give up on that. I think that if we could, and I am in touch with them on Facebook.
Yep.
And if the committee wanted to do that, I would like to organize. So here's another problem with town council. Because we're elected officials, we have to have scheduled meetings. The public has to be invited. There have to be minutes. And it's kind of hard to sit down and have a sandwich with some people and talk out differences in that kind of structure. So one of the ways we can manage that, even in our current structure, is to have what we call a field walk, where the public knows there is this thing called the field walk. Anybody is invited, but there aren't minutes, and it's really informal. And we use it for things like walking a property that the town may be acquiring or doing something with. So people who are interested go walk the property. And I was thinking maybe we do something like that. We go to one of the town parks, go to the sawmill, grab sandwiches, sit down and talk about stuff. Because I'm gonna call them kids, they're not kids anymore, but those three young people had things to say and I wasn't happy with what I heard. And I would like to work more on those things. So that's another idea.
That would be great. Councilor Rodriguez, you got your,
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I agree with Counselor Paul, Marshall, and Psalms. You all pretty much touched on things that I wanted to say. I can tell you two things that I noticed that really caught my attention and really had a positive impact on me. One of them is the fire department in Ledyard. They had recruited some volunteers, and when I saw the picture on social media, I think one or two of the volunteers were African-American males. And I really, it warmed my heart to see that. So one of my ideas for this commission is pretty much what Mr. Psalms was alluding to. And that is outreach through different departments, the fire department, the police department, like an open house or a field walk. We would use that word in planning and zoning. You can call it a working group, as BOE calls it, where the police can come or the fire department reach out to the youth, and everyone's invited, but we really try to include people of color and tell them, this is what the police department is about. You can volunteer in the group. You can, we can provide them with ways to how to become a police officer. Many people may not know how to volunteer and become a fireman. Those were little ideas that came to mind. And also when the police department hired 2 female recruits, that really warmed my heart. I've been waiting a long time to see that in Ledyard. So I think we're moving in the right direction. We still have a long way to go, but I am very happy with what I'm hearing in this meeting tonight. And Councilor Marshall had mentioned people want to be heard, and that's half the battle right there. People want to be heard. And it behooves us to listen to them. And I think Councilor Marshall also said it, we're going to hear some uncomfortable things, but it's in the best interest of Ledyard for this commission to hear the comments and to try new ideas about making it better. It may take a while. It could happen in baby steps and may be long strides. I don't know, but I have a positive feeling about this, and thank you for letting me speak.
absolutely. And I'll go on to say, again, I think that's what, this committee should be about is listening. I think that's one of the most important things that we can do as a committee is to listen. And I think that's very important. And I like the idea, Council Psalms, of the field walks. And that was something that I was thinking about as well. And I think that these are things that can be brought up, maybe even a few times a year, whether it's maybe a coffee sit down and maybe when this, COVID starts to back away and the weather changes, where it's a coffee and a sit down up at the pavilion. I mean, if these things that we could do where people can come out, and I think it should involve as many services as possible, kind of echoing what you're saying, Councilor Rodriguez, about, people don't know, a lot of different things. And I think the informal sessions and field walks and being able to people feel comfortable talking and sharing. And, I think that's the first step to any resolution or healing or anything like that is being able to know that there's people that are listening and care, and we care about this community. And I think that should be, as we work on our mission statement, I think that should be part of that. I mean, I think that's the whole point is, we care about this community and we want people to be heard. And that's where I'm at with it. And I think these are great ideas. And I think these are things that we should move forward with and discuss in our next meetings and start putting together.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
I want to share credit where credit's due. This idea of a meal came from a person at Comm College that I'm friendly with. She spent an hour with me talking about how to do this. She gave me a lot of good ideas. And one of them was you can resolve differences much better over a meal than not. And she came up with that suggestion. Is coincidence would have it, Comm College is doing a 2-day seminar, or I guess it's a conference. I think it's tomorrow and Friday. It's Thursday and Friday, one of these weeks. And she had organized one of those at Comm College. I'm not sure how long ago, not too far back. She's also the author of a book called Shopping While Black. Really interesting person to talk with. She doesn't come free. So if we wanted to talk with her, there would be a fee, but I was very grateful for the time she spent with me and some of the ideas she gave. The other thing is at graduation, I don't know if this number is accurate, but my informal poll tells me that 25% of the graduating class at Ledyard High School this year was Black or brown. So we have a larger population than we may realize. And we do need to address these things. The last thing I want to say is one of those 3 young people said to me that it's very hard to get into government. He said, I don't know how you get into government. I don't know how you get involved, how you get active. It's really hard. And I think what he was saying was it's intimidating.
Mm.
And I know that too, because, you know, the first time you go to a public meeting and speak, it's intimidating. But there's a desire there. There's, at least he wants to do more. So again, I think a meal is a good thing to do.
I'll agree with you on that one. And I'll agree that it is hard to speak at on that. And that's, you know, but that's also encouraging because it's great. And I think we really need to be encouraging that. I really do. I think these are great ideas. And I think this is what we need to put on our agenda and we need to start moving forward with to get the ball rolling on this. Any other ideas or comments on what we can do? And
I'd be open to having an informal workshop at the annex. There's room there to spread out if it's still a COVID concern. But that's another avenue we could pursue. And just to let the public know that we are open and receptive to hearing them, that we are available for them. That may have been out there in the past, but part of our mission statement may be to let them know that we are open and available.
yeah,
You have a cold, John?
Yeah, I'm a little stuffy.
Let's wait a little while.
I wear a mask.
All right.
It's just a cold. It's not COVID.
Good.
It's just
so again, so I think you know, in my opinion, I mean, I think we you know, we're all, you know, this is our first meeting with, you know, with us here. And, you know, and I think these are great. Like I said, I just want to echo the fact that I think that we're going to, these are great ideas, working on informational sessions, field walks, however you want to call that. And John, your idea, I think these are great ideas. I also really, you know, I'd like to get into finding out how we can have some type of a formal, I guess, get together with the tribe as well. I think that's important too. I think moving forward, this is what we should start working on. So if there's any other comments or questions on this, and we'll move forward on that.
Nope, I'm all
Okay.
set.
All right. Awesome, guys. This is great. I'm excited to be getting to work on this. Is there any other new business to come before this committee?
Done.
All right. So I will look to for a motion for adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right. Awesome. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Night, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for
Bye-bye.
coming out tonight, and then
Everyone.
we'll get to work.
All right, stay warm.
Thank you, Rock.